There's nothing more horrifying than pictures or footage before moments of pure catastrophe, whether it be natural disasters or unavoidable accidents. But what if pictures are found before a crime is committed? Photos taken before cold-blooded murder. Travis Alexander met Jodi Arias at a work conference in Las Vegas on September of 2006. Being introduced by a mutual friend, a friendly relationship would spark almost immediately. That would even lead to Alexander helping convert Jodi towards the Church of the Latter-day Saints. They began dating the next year in February, but due to Jodi moving back in with her grandparents, they would start a somewhat on and off long-distance relationship, partially due to one living in California and the other being in Arizona. Even secretly sexting each other when Alexander was in a relationship with another woman. Fast forward to June 9th. A group of Alexander's friends are growing worried after not hearing from him in a while and realized they had a copy of his room key and decided to check up on him to make sure he was alright, as they had always had negative feelings towards his girlfriend and often felt uneasy around her. After unlocking the door, the first thing they noticed when entering his room was a large pool of blood in the hallway leading to his bathroom. And with their worst thoughts coming true, they come to find his lifeless body in the bathtub. Shocked, they immediately call 911.
Oh my God.
911 emergency? Hi, what's going on?
What?
What's going on?
A friend of ours is dead in his bedroom. We hadn't heard from him for a while. We think he's dead. His roommate just went in there and said there's lots of blood.
The police would find a bloody handprint, bullet shells, and Alexander's bed sheets missing, leading police to check the washing machine. To their surprise, a digital camera was found, with obvious signs of water damage. The forensics team worked hard to salvage any potential evidence and were finally successful. Completely undoing the damage the water had done, the police were able to recover the deleted pictures of Alexander's final moments. Jodi had stabbed Alexander 27 times, slit his throat, and shot him in the head. The motive is still debated on why she did the crime. Some coming to the conclusion that Alexander was somewhat of a playboy narcissist who would just use Jodi whenever he felt like it and push Jodi over the edge after the breakup. Others say Jodi was using self-defense on a night where things went abruptly wrong. With the jury in a deadlock on the death penalty, Jodi would receive her final sentencing, life in prison without the possibility of parole. After an argument with her mother, 14-year-old Regina Walters would run away with her then 18-year-old boyfriend, Ricky Jones. Ricky, while on the run from the police for theft, would plan for the couple to run away to Mexico, where he had family. Using hitchhiking as their main mode of transportation, put him on a collision course to meet one of America's most prolific serial killers, Robert Ben Rhodes, also known as the truck stop killer. After flagging down Rhodes, they would hop into a big rig, leaving Pasadena, Texas behind. The couple's dream was abruptly then cut short when Robert would shoot and leave Ricky for dead in Harrelton, Texas, where his remains would not be found until 9 years later in 2008. Regina would be held captive by Robert for a month, suffering various forms of torture and sexual abuse, taking her to her final resting place, Greensville, Illinois. Regina, now with short hair, would be forced to change into a black dress and black heels. Robert, having a twisted fascination with photographing his victims before and after killing them, would take the following pictures of Regina, looking incredibly disturbed prior to killing her in a nearby farm. Robert strangled Regina so hard her remains showed signs of near decapitation, while at this point, the only person in the world that knew Regina's fate was Robert. The rest of the world only knew she was a runaway teen, whose mother had filed a police report and hung several missing posters in town, would go on to receive several calls along with Regina's father from none other than Robert, who would taunt the family about Regina's whereabouts, even going as far as to set up meetings with Regina's mother, claiming he would reveal her current whereabouts, sadly concluding with Regina's mother arriving at the previously spoken meeting point with no one ever showing up. On a hot summer day, a puzzling Polaroid was found in the parking lot of a convenience store in Port St. Joe, Florida. The woman who found the photo claimed to have found it in a parking spot that was previously occupied by a white van with no windows in the back, being driven by a man in his 30s. Next to the girl pictured is a disturbing book with dark subjects like murder, suicide, adultery, rape, and torture. While the news televised the photo to try to find more information on the pair of abducted youths, a friend of the Calico family showed them a picture as they thought it resembled Tara Leigh Calico, a teen who had recently gone missing in her hometown of Belen, New Mexico, on the morning of September 20th, the year prior to the photograph being found. Tara was known to ride her bike on a particular route and would even be joined by her mother periodically, Tara's mother would stop as she felt she was being stalked by a motorist and insisted her daughter start carrying mace as a precaution, but Tara refused her mother's advice, instead telling her mother to pick her up if she didn't return by noon, as she had made plans to play tennis with her boyfriend. After not returning in time, her mother would go on looking for Tara. With no luck, she would proceed to contact the police. The only proof of Tara's disappearance would be in the form of her Sony Walkman, in pieces, strewn along the side of the road. All this leading Tara's mother to believe the girl seen in the picture was in fact Tara, even mentioning the scar seen on the girl pictured's leg matching the scar Tara had in the same location. Over the years, several other pictures have come out showing various angles of a boy resembling the kid in the infamous Polaroid, and others of a girl who looks somewhat like Tara, although even Tara's mother has commented on the pictures, calling it a hoax. 10 years later, in 1998, with the case officially going cold, a judge would officially pronounce Tara dead via homicide. The boy and girl photographed have never been identified to this day. Whether or not the girl in the picture was Tara, the family never gave up hope. Even after Tara's mother's eventual passing, seemingly believing her daughter would return home one day, even keeping a room for her eventual return in their new home in Florida, and placing Christmas and birthday presents year after year.
We're still looking for you. We have not given up. We won't give up.